Hey kiddies, it's Triple Feature Tuesday once again, and this week we're going to look at evil capitalist motivational speeches.
Money, 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 must be funny.
That's right, we're going to look at an old one that I did a write-up for, but never actually recorded a video for, and mainly because these movies have been on my mind between watching Stupid Wall Street 2 and people at work bringing up Glengarry, Glen Ross. So we're going to look at 3 of the best evil motivational speeches that epitomize American and, European capitalism, because they get on in the game and they sometimes are worse than us. But either way, it's all about exploiting you and me. And, I'm saying they're evil and I'm a lawyer, so, that means they're seriously evil. Our menu is going to include Glengarry, Glen Ross, How to Get Ahead in Advertising, and Wall Street. I'm going to go in increasing order of scale and or evil. So, oddly enough, we start with Glengarry Glen Ross. Based on the David Mamet play and adapted by him, it's just beautiful. It's the story of real estate salesmen that are complete scumbags. And right in the beginning of the film, we get Alec Baldwin's motivational speech to try to light a fire under the struggling sales staff of Premier Properties, a legitimate company run by Mitch and Murray. Fun fact, this speech is not in the original play. It was written especially for Alec Baldwin for this movie because, why wouldn't you? Famous for the phrase ABC, always be closing, and just Alec Baldwin being as smarmy as he possibly can be without actually killing somebody in the movie. It's a really impressive thing, and it's just immensely quotable, hilarious, while at the same time completely demeaning to these 3 poor schmucks. Like, coffee is for closers. Poor Shelley. Shelley the Machine Levine. Oh, God. What can you say about Glengarry Glen Ross other than everything about it is great, everybody in it is great, and it's just wonderful. Jack Lemmon, Ed Harris, Alan Arkin, Kevin Spacey as just the guys in the room. And then Al Pacino comes in more in Act 2 with Jonathan Pryce. But, oh, man, Alec Baldwin. Why it's the least evil on this one is because the scale of it is so small in comparison to the others. Alec Baldwin's just trying to get these 3 guys to sell crappy investments to schmucks. But that's sort of where it ends. There's no overarching world-dominating plan behind it. And at the end of it, it doesn't work. You look at Moss, Levine, and George Arno, Alan Arkin's character. They're completely unmotivated. They were burnt out before. They're even more burnt out now. So while it's wonderful and hilarious, imagine getting that speech at your job. It's horrible. My boss in the opening day sort of paraphrased it, which, man, mixed messages. Next up, we have Bruce Robinson's How to Get Ahead in Advertising, featuring Richard E. Grant explaining what their job is as advertisers. And their job, much like in Glengarry Glen Ross, is to sell things. That's it. It doesn't matter if you have any moral qualms about how you're selling or what you're selling. Sell the thing. That's what you're being paid to do. And if you don't want to do it, go somewhere else. And Richard E. Grant, who is never bad. I am still surprised he hasn't caught on as much. Like, even as a stock English bad guy, he hasn't really caught on as much. There's Hudson Hawk, but Hudson Hawk exists into a world unto itself. What's great about this speech is it parallels what they're doing. They are predominantly advertising people, television advertisements. And so this speech is the shortest speech of the triple feature because it's an ad. You're supposed to get in, get out, hook them, and then leave. And that's exactly what he does. He hooks all the people in this very smoky room, explains what to do, and then gets the hell out of there before they can argue with him. One person does. If you look, it's actually Sean Bean in a surprisingly not dying role. So, good on you, Sean Bean. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. One, it's not that type of movie, and two, he's not in the movie that much. But I mean, look at Equilibrium. He dies in the first 5 minutes. Oh, sorry, spoilers for movies that are 15 years old. But oh, Richard E. Grant. Ugh, just listening to him, it makes your blood run cold. Why this is eviler than the other one is he is indoctrinating other advertisers to be just like him. And they are going to indoctrinate others, and they're going to indoctrinate others on top of what they're actually doing to the consumer public, you and I. I mean, it's just terrible. But as he points out, I could really go for some sausage bits. I've been dieting. I'm good. I could have one sausage. What's the problem? The problem is the shame. Oh, the shame. The shame, which is almost as delicious as the sausage. Ugh. Finally, we have the epitome of 80s evil. I talked about him a little bit last week. Wall Street, Oliver Stone's seminal indictment of 80s yuppie culture, featuring Michael Douglas's Gordon Gekko and his The Greed is Good speech to the Teldar paper stockholders, where, I mean, it's just wrong. He is so evil because not only is he freely espousing sheer naked capitalism, which, as we've seen, when it's not tempered by, okay, not morality, but just, sanity. As the saying goes, shear a sheep as many times as you want, skin, but you can only skin it once. These guys are in the business of skinning us all the time. It's insane. But greed is good. Greed for life, greed for knowledge, greed for everything. And what makes it evil is that he wants to do it to every single corporation. He wants everybody to believe that. And what makes it even more evil and scary is that by the end of the speech, people do. Normal people, people like you and I. Getting back to how to get ahead in advertising, why it's less evil is you still get the moral qualms from advertisers, of all people, these scum of the earth. But everybody at Teldar Paper really wants to believe that Gordon Gekko knows the answer. And honestly, Gordon does. It's just the answer, the question he's answering is how to make Gordon Gekko as much money as humanly possible. And he doesn't care about anybody. And he's willing to destroy companies just to get his, which, the 80s were a very mixed bag, people. But those are evil motivational speeches. Glengarry, Glenn Ross, How to Get Ahead in Advertising, and Wall Street. I hope everybody had a nice Easter, and I will see you guys next week.